beware that, when fighting monsters, you yourself do not become a monster. That chilling warning comes from Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher who dared to peer into the abyss, and told us it stares back. But what if the monster is you? What if your darkest traits, your rage, your envy, your lust, aren't flaws but untapped fuel? Carl Jung thought so, Nietzsche demanded it, and Jordan Peterson? He warns, ignore your shadow, and it will consume you. This is a battle of depth psychology versus existential rebellion. Jung versus Nietzsche, and your soul is the battlefield. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist and spiritual excavator of the human psyche, believed we each carry a shadow, the parts of ourselves we deny, repress, or fear. The shadow is a moral problem that challenges the whole ego personality. Jung wrote in the Red Book, to become conscious of it involves recognizing the dark aspects of the personality as present and real. These aren't just feelings, they're you, the parts society taught you to hide. But Jung didn't see the shadow as evil. He saw it as your unlived life. Meanwhile, Nietzsche was less cautious. In Beyond Good and Evil, he declared, he who despises himself still respects himself as one who despises. But to harness the will to power, you must confront the chaos within. For Nietzsche, morality was a cage. The shadow wasn't evil, it was potential. Let's look at Dostoevsky's Notes from Underground, a haunting case study. The underground man, a hypersensitive recluse, spends pages ranting about freedom, yet paralyzes himself with self-hatred. He's intelligent, capable, but chokes on his own shadow. By refusing to acknowledge his darker impulses, his spite, his resentment, he turns them inward. The result? Self-destruction. Jung would say, he's eaten by his shadow. Nietzsche would say, he lacked the courage to be a god. Enter Jordan Peterson, a psychologist steeped in Jung, Nietzsche, and biblical myth. He issues this blunt warning. If you don't deal with your shadow, it will deal with you. 12 rules for life. Rule number 2, he tells us the path to strength isn't suppression, it's integration. What does integration look like? Step 1, journaling. Ask yourself, what emotions do I feel ashamed of? When did I last act out of spite or envy, and why? If no one were watching, what would I do differently? Step 2, dialogue with your shadow. Write a letter from your shadow. Let it speak, let it rant, then respond. What does it want? Not just what you want. Step 3, don't fall into Nietzsche's nihilism trap. Nietzsche said, God is dead. Many stopped reading there, but he didn't mean morals are dead. He meant, you are now responsible for becoming your own source of value. Peterson bridges this gap. Meaning comes not from pleasure, but from responsibility. Face the shadow, own your flaws, step into the arena. Here's the philosophical battleground. Is the shadow a source of strength, like Nietzsche claimed? Or a psychic threat, as Jung warned? Let's ground this with a modern example. Leader A is shadow-driven, charismatic, fearsome, but every decision is laced with insecurity and ego. He manipulates, dominates, and burns out his team. Leader B faced his shadow. He knows he's capable of cruelty, so he chooses compassion. He's seen his inner tyrant, and made it kneel. This is what Jung called holding the tension of the opposites, channeling the monster, not becoming it. Nietzsche might argue, only one of them is free, but Jung would counter, only one of them is whole. The shadow is not your enemy, it's your greatest test, and your greatest teacher. To confront your dark side is not to destroy it, but to befriend it, to listen to its rage, and lead it with wisdom. Next week, Dostoevsky's Underground Man and the Modern Despair. Don't miss it, and remember, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. Subscribe, face the abyss, and forge your soul.